Hello, 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 citizens of the Writer's Corner podcast. This is your host, author Anthony Avina, and welcome to episode 48. This is definitely episode 48. Last week was episode 47, where we discussed back to basics, where we discussed some basic English language misuses. We discussed there versus there versus there. If you guys want to check that out, be sure to go to our previous podcast on SoundCloud or iTunes. Or you guys can hit the eye in the sky to see today's recommended videos, playlists, and more on YouTube, including our Writer's Corner podcast playlist. You guys can check out all previous episodes of the podcast there. This week, I thought we'd get a little more personal and discuss, for all you authors and writers out there, what sets you apart, or what I like to say is what I stand for. As an author, one of our biggest obstacles in, gaining an audience and showcasing our talent is to show the audience who we are as an author, what sets us apart from the millions of other authors out there. That is the biggest question you can ask yourself when you're starting out as an author or a writer of any kind. What sets you apart? What is going to make other people want to read what you're writing? I'll give you mine, for instance. What I like to say I do is I break down barriers. I really love to break down barriers and social misconceptions to showcase that making assumptions about people and life are wrong. One of my favorite things to do, like for instance, I'll use one of my books as an example. I have a book called I Was a Teenage Killer. And in that book, one of my favorite things about it is to explore that the bad guy, the evil surrounding this town, the person behind so many thoughtless killings can be the young, beautiful, sexy cheerleader next door. Everyone assumes in these stories that the young teenage girl is the victim. She is the one being chased by the demented killer who's some giant guy with scars on his face, or was, an outcast, a social outcast, but that's not always the case. Sometimes the evil lurking in the shadows hides by masquerading as the light, by masquerading as a good human being. And that's what I like to do. I like to take stories and flip them around so that the unexpected is almost expected. I just wrote a sci-fi novel, and I had a character that a lot of people wouldn't expect to be bad turn bad. And what I like to do is showcase that you can't judge people on looks. You can't judge people by the social norms that people for hundreds of years have been placing on people. I'm not going to get into a big political discussion or anything about what's currently going on in our world. There's a lot to talk about in that subject, but basically what it all comes down to is you cannot make assumptions based on individuals. You can't make assumptions based on a few incidents in the past. Every case is unique, every case is different, and when I write a story, I break down what is considered normal, and I break down what is considered weird or abnormal, and I showcase that everything is different. Everyone is unique, and good is not always good, and evil is not always evil. We live in a world that is covered in shades of gray, and there is no black and white divide. Everything is gray, and you have to be willing to open your eyes and look among that shade of gray to understand what the world really is. There are so many people who rush to judgment and who, look at things and just take them as fact rather than opening their minds and their hearts and their souls to the fact that there are endless possibilities for and reasons for things. So that's what I like to do. Basically, I break down barriers and social misconceptions to showcase that making assumptions about people in life are wrong. And then, as an added bonus, I also like to say that I write to help people escape their daily lives into these fantastic, epic stories. One of the things I love about reading is the fact that I get to escape from my daily life and like find myself transported into these larger than life worlds, whether they be heart pounding, murder thrillers, or these giant worlds like Game of Thrones where they're life or death stakes mixed in with fantastic stories of dragons and giants. Um, when you read, you want to escape your own life sometimes. And that's what I like to do. I like to create characters and stories that people become obsessed with and or love to read about, and they escape their daily lives into these fantastic stories that I create, and that's what I hope to accomplish at least. So the question you have to ask yourself is, much like me, what sets you apart from the crowd? What sets you apart from all the other, authors or journalists or writers out there who are eager to get a spot in the social eye as much as you are? What do you stand for? That is the question you have to ask yourself. Should be the first question you ever ask yourself when you're looking to jump into the world of self-publishing or blogging, writing of any kind. You have to ask yourself what sets you apart. The other thing to remember is there is something that sets you apart. Don't get frustrated. Don't put yourself down and say, well, I don't really have anything, so I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead. No. If you have a passion for writing, that means there is something that sets you apart. You just have to be willing to find it. Take the time. Don't rush into anything. And just look ahead. What sets you apart from the crowd? You can find it. I promise. That does it for me here on this week's episode of the Writer's Corner podcast. Thank you for listening. In the comments below, let me know what sets you apart as a writer, and what other topics would you like us to discuss. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up. Like this video, comment on it, favorite it, and share it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It'd mean the world to me if you did. And click that eye in the sky to see today's recommended videos, playlists, and more. If you're listening to this on iTunes or SoundCloud, thank you so much for listening. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Or not this video. Please like this review or this podcast by leaving a review. Sorry, I'm kind of sputtering right now. But please leave us a review letting us know what you thought, what you'd like to see changed, added, and all your thoughts and comments mean the world to us. And if you haven't subscribed on either one of those platforms, please do so now. It means so much to us if you did. And share the podcast with everyone you can. It means so much to us. And you can follow me on all my social media profiles using the description down below. And make sure you guys can tweet me or Facebook me, whatever your heart's desire. Go ahead and tag me in whatever post you want, and maybe I'll feature a comment or a social media post in the next podcast. Thanks so much for listening, guys. This is your host, author Anthony Avina, signing out, and I'll see you next time for a brand new episode. Long days and pleasant nights, my friends.